everybody, welcome back to Kavanaugh's Corner. Today on the channel we're going to be reviewing two films that were released earlier this week, and these were movies that, again, I was very excited for when they first came out. I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan. Sadly, I don't have a Kill Bill shirt, so I'm wearing my Jackie Brown t-shirt from my previous video. If you didn't see my Jackie Brown review, definitely go check that out. That's a good one there. But today I'm going to be talking about Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 on 4K. These here, I'm so glad they put them out at the same time. These are movies, again, that I really enjoy. Do I like them as much as Jackie Brown? Not really. I really love that film. But these are just incredible storytelling action films. It's nothing better than a nice revenge movie. And Quentin Tarantino's style is just on overload in these two films. I love the different feeling that these two movies have, even though they're kind of two halves to a greater whole. I love the stylistic choices he made in these. And, Uma Thurman and the gang, everybody in this film does such a great job with their characters. Uma Thurman's bride is just such a badass, and I love the way she just has this single-minded purpose all through both films. And it's a joy to watch. I mean, it's a blast. It's a little, gory and nasty and violent, but they're fun. They're fun action films. And with Quentin Tarantino behind the camera, you're going to have a really good time. And, as always, his classic dialogue is just always something to behold. So I love these movies. They're a great time. But now we have them on 4K for the first time ever. And they have Dolby Vision HDR. They've got, DTS HD 5.1 master audio tracks. And so today on the channel, I'm going to be talking about the picture quality, the audio quality, and the special features for both of these films. So to jump right into the review here, I was going to do two different videos, one for Volume 1 and one for Volume 2. But after watching them back to back, I have not the greatest of news for you guys. These two were slightly disappointing transfers. Now, in terms of whether or not these were 4K native transfers, I'm having trouble finding information about that. They really don't look like it to me. And honestly, the picture quality on both of these, in my opinion, were not much of an upgrade from the previous Blu-rays. The previous Blu-rays were nothing to sneeze at. I mean, they looked very solid, but they have been out now for quite a long period of time. So I was hoping for a bump in terms of detail, in terms of color, in terms of contrast. I was really hoping to get something a little more than, sadly, what we got out of these two. And, yeah, it stinks, but the picture quality, Volume 1 and Volume 2, were just not great. Are they bad transfers? Absolutely not. They are not bad transfers. It just feels like not much was done to these two movies in terms of a restoration at all. It's scary to say, but these movies are just a little over 20 years old at this point. But the movies themselves, I think, could have benefited from a little extra love and care. Jackie Brown's transfer was very filmic, but also highly detailed. The contrast was incredible. The HDR was very helpful to that film. And, overall, it was a huge step up in a lot of different ways. These two here, I didn't see that. I didn't see a bump in clarity at all. Maybe a handful of close-ups in Volume 1 and a couple scenes in Volume 2 seemed to be a little bit better looking. But overall, the movies really didn't look much better in 4K. The film grain in both films were handled in a very odd manner. And it was kind of perplexing to me because there was film grain basically throughout both films. There wasn't seemingly a lot of DNR done to either film, so not a lot of digital noise reduction. But the grain seemed to be like a weird kind of blobby thing that was maybe attempted to be mitigated, but just not done well. It was almost like the film was upscaled, but they didn't mitigate anything to make the picture look improved or sharpened or anything. It looked dull. And again, I'm not really one for AI sharpening or anything like that. But I've seen film restorations done on movies that are 3 times as old as these two films. And there are methods of, bringing the life out of an older film without making it seem artificial. And in this case, it really seems like Lionsgate or whoever was behind the transfer of these two just really took a cheap and easy way out. It didn't look great. It just looked fairly decent and not much better than the previous Blu-rays. Certain sections of this, of actually really of both films, do have a soft look to them. And the films always look that way. But even in those softer sections, I noticed that the movie just wasn't up to snuff in terms of picture quality. It just had this weird blobby kind of bland, definition to it. And, not every movie is meant to be razor sharp in terms of detail level or anything like that. But I was expecting a slight bump in quality from the previous Blu-ray, and I didn't get it in this. I just didn't. It's not there with these two films. The only real big bump in quality with these two films, in my opinion, was the color and the contrast, and that's the Dolby Vision HDR doing its work. These are two very vibrant, colorful films. And the Dolby Vision HDR, I will say, did a great job of bringing out more lifelike colors. The blown out lighting in previous releases of this film has now been adjusted. There's a certain scene at the beginning of Kill Bill Volume 1 that takes place in a residential house, without spoiling anything for anybody who hasn't seen this film. But there's a fight that takes place fairly early on in the movie. And in certain other releases that I've seen of this film, the lighting is very, very bright and blown out. Now that's kind of been balanced, and more is visible in the frame, which is really nice. The HDR does a really great job with color and contrast in both films. The browns and greens of the second film are now much deeper, more lifelike. And the yellows and reds and the blood and everything from the first film look now way more vibrant. Again, it just goes to show how different the two films are in terms of the cinematography and the handling of things. It's awesome. It looks great in terms of color and contrast. There's a fight scene that's done in shadow in the first film, and it's like blue. That looks absolutely incredible. And the black levels are great on these two discs. But that's about as good as they get. Everything else, like I said, in terms of detail and picture quality, it's really a very, very, very marginal upgrade from the previous Blu-rays. And it's a shame. It's a shame. I was expecting, I was hoping for a lot more, I should say. They're not awful transfers by any means. I was just hoping for just a little bit more, but maybe I was hoping for too much. So in terms of audio quality, both movies both come with a DTS HD master audio. It's a 5.1, and that audio track for both films, it's great. It's the same exact audio track from the previous releases, and those were nothing to sneeze at. But this one here, for both films, they are awesome. Again, nothing really new to write home about. Sound effects are great. The music sounds great. The dialogue sounds great. It's just a great sound mix. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, and this is the perfect case of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And again, it's a bummer we didn't get DTS-X or Dolby Atmos, but we got a very good audio track, and I can't complain. It's totally fine for what it is. In terms of special features, again, all the special features on both of these releases are all carryovers from previous Blu-ray releases. There's a Making of Kill Bill Volume 1 featurette on the first film. There's bonus music performances from the 5, 6, 7, 8s, and there's a series of trailers as well. And unlike Jackie Brown, the special features are on both the standard Blu-ray and the 4K for both of these movies. Volume 2 has a making of featurette of the Making of Kill Bill Volume 2. There's a deleted scene and a musical performance as well in this one. So all pretty much carryovers from previous releases. My overall opinion on these is if you really love these films and you want to own it in 4K, you probably won't regret it, but I would probably wait for a sale on these. These are not necessary pickups. Jackie Brown is definitely a must-buy. That was a great transfer. That's a big upgrade. But these two, sadly, were disappointing. And these are the first two disappointing releases I've seen in a while. We've lucked out in terms of 4K transfers as of late. But these two, again, it's such a marginal upgrade. I couldn't blame you if you just hung on to the previous Blu-ray releases of these. Anyway, that's all I have to say for today on Kavanaugh's Corner. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope I was able to inform you a little. If you liked this video, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel. And let me know, what's your favorite Quentin Tarantino movie? Because my favorites are Jackie Brown and Pulp Fiction. Those are my two favorites. I know that's kind of a standardized answer, but I love those two films so much. They really enthused me to movies and movie making as a whole. They always blow me away every time I watch them. So leave that in the comments section below. I want to hear what you have to say. And if you pick these up, let me know what you think, because I have a feeling that these are going to have some divisive opinions. And I want to know what you have to say, but be polite, please. Let's have some... Let's be nice, okay? We don't have to be nasty in the comments section. So be kind. Please, stay safe out there. Keep collecting. And I'll see you next time. Take it easy.